Hello guys, what is up? This is the Computer Genius here. I hope you're having a good day. Now in this video I'm going to show you how to create a file encryptor using C++. We already have created a file encryptor without classes, but this time we're going to use classes. Why we're using classes is because without classes it's really hard to write the code without classes, but if we use classes you just have to enter like one line of code. So let's get started. Let's initialize a class here. Okay, let's make it public. Let's create a constructor for this class. Okay, it's gonna take another value. Okay, basically a constructor gets called whenever you create an object of class. Like suppose that this is the main function and we make an object obj, so we will have to give values to this constructor, because whenever we create an object this gets called and this needs values. So we enter the values here, and yep, this is it. Now what we're making is that the user will only have to, not the user, sorry, we will only have to write this. We just have to call this using while creating the object, like encrypt and obj. Now here you type in the file name, file path of the file you want to encrypt, and here's the password. And if you want to encrypt, then put here 1. If you want to decrypt, then give 0. Just this is it. It's encrypted or decrypted. Now okay, so we created the constructor. Now let's initialize output. This will store the output of the class if there was any error. Now let's make it private, because these functions will only be used by this class. Let's make encrypt file 1. Password. Okay, yeah, this is what it needs. Now let's make it decrypt file 1. Okay, let's initialize another function here. Now this function will return the sum of the ASCII values of the characters in password. Now we're gonna need this because we're gonna basically write the if this is a file, yep, if this is the starting of the file, then we're actually gonna write a structure which contains the pass_sum, which this function is gonna return. It will return pass_sum. Let's get pass_sum. So this is the file. Now we write the pass_sum using the structure, and here will be the encrypted bytes when we encrypt it, and when we decrypt it we just read the pass_sum of the password, and then we see if the password match. If it does, then we're gonna decrypt these things. Okay, now we have this, and let's create a structure which we're gonna write the file. Let's name it password pass_sum. Okay, I guess the header file is okay. Wait a second, let's define let's name it file error. Now these functions will return either three values. They can return three values. I'm going to show you which ones. Okay, now these functions can return three values. They're going to return 1 if it was successful, 0 if there was any error opening file, and -1 if the password was wrong. Encrypt file won't return pass error because it just have to encrypt it. Decrypt file can return pass error if the password was wrong. Okay, so now the header file is set. I have written the function names in the CPP file. This is the constructor, the encryptor, decryptor, and the get pass sum. Okay, let's start with the the constructor first. So we're gonna check if we have to encrypt or decrypt. Now if encrypt is equal to 1, it means if the user wants us to encrypt the file, then we're gonna call encrypt file 1. Okay, now J will contain either three of the values, either file error, password error, or 1. 1 means it's good. Now J won't hold -1 here because we're encrypting. There can't be a password error while encrypting it because we're encrypting it. Okay, now if J is not equal to 1, if it was not successful, output, which we declared over here, the user will check the output. Output is equal to J, so user will know if it's file error or password error or whatever. And if let's just return over here, and if J was 1, then output is equal to 1, and we just return here. Okay, good. Now now we decrypt it. Let's initialize J up. Okay, now J is equal to decrypt file 1 fname password. We're gonna do the same here. If J is not equal to 1, then output is equal to J and return. Okay, and if J is 1, then output is equal to 1 and return. Good. Now let's write code for encrypt file. The code for the constructor is done. Let's write for encrypt file. Okay, now we have the fname and the password. Let's open the file. Fname, and let's open it in read binary. If there was error opening file, then return file underscore error, which we defined over here. Okay, now once we open the file, let's get the file length of the file. Okay, now we have the file length of the file. Let's initialize buffer using new. Okay, now we have buffer and the f length. Let's read the contents into buffer. Okay, now we've read it. Let's close the file. Now let's encrypt it. We'll encrypt it over here. Start off with the for loop. Int I is smaller than f length, I plus plus. Let's make another for loop. Okay, here we do encrypt. We're using XOR. Okay, now what we're doing is we're actually you can say intermixing a single byte of buffer with the whole password, and this is going to go on until I is equal to effluent. Okay, once we've encrypted the bytes, we will open the file and write the structure as I shown you over there. Let's create the object for structure. It's called password obj. It's password, right? Yeah. Okay, password has passum. Let's get passum is equal to passum password. Okay, now we have the info for the structure. Now we're gonna write it in the file. Let's open it again. Fname. Now we're gonna open it in write binary. It's gonna delete all the contents that were in the file before. Check if open successfully, otherwise return the error value. Okay, now we write the object. Password 1 fp. Okay, now we've written the structure. Let's close the file and open it in append binary to write the buffer. Append binary. If couldn't open the file, do all of that stuff again. Okay, now let's write buffer. Okay, close, and we've written, yeah, it's done. Okay, now we've written the code for Encrypt File. Now we're gonna write the code for Decrypt File. Okay, let's initialize an object for password. Open the file. It's read binary. Okay, we open the file. Let's get the file length. File number fp. Now we have the file length of the file, and now let's read the structure. Size of password 1 fp. Okay, now we have read the structure. Now what we're gonna do is flength is equal to flength minus size of password. Now why we're doing this is because imagine this is the file and here's the structure containing passum, and here are the encrypted bytes. Okay, so these are the encrypted bytes. Now you don't want structure to be read because you have already read it over here. fread object. So we have read this, and flength has the file length of all of this file. Now if we want to read this into buffer, it's gonna read like this too. You don't want to read these random words, and so what you do is you subtract the size of the structure from flength, so it will read only buffer. And after reading object, it has already the file pointer has already moved from here to here, so the file pointer is already on the first byte, so we just subtract this and read. Okay, now let's initialize buffer first. Okay, now let's read the contents into buffer. Okay, now let's close it. Okay, now we have buffer and parsum. Now what we do is first we compare the parsum of the user given password with the password we have read from the file. If get parsum password is not equal to obj.parsum, then actually no need of brackets here, just return parse error. I think that was it. Yeah. Okay, now if the password was correct, we need to decrypt the file. Let's start. Now if you want to decrypt, if you want to encrypt, then you just write this, and if you want to decrypt, the only difference is use string reverse password. So if I write here, so now this will decrypt the contents, and if we delete this, then this will encrypt. This is the only difference. You just string reverse the password. So let's just copy paste here. Okay, now we're decrypting buffer. After we've decrypted buffer, we just have to write buffer into the file. Let's open it. Open it in the right binary, so the previous contents are destroyed. If not able to open the file, then return error, file error. Okay, if we're able to open the file, we write buffer fp fclose, and yeah, it is done. Return 1. I think I message box over here. Yeah, return 1 because this is just a function. We don't want no messages while we're in the class. So now we have written the code for encrypt and decrypt. Now we need to write the code for get parsum. Let's take a static int, because we will be returning sum, so we don't want the sum to be destroyed. Okay, now let's start a for loop. Password I is not equal to null I plus plus. Okay, sum is equal to sum plus int password I. So let's make some 0 here, and yeah, now what we're doing is actually we're adding all the ASCII. This will be ASCII of password I. If we enter int in a bracket of before password I or any character, we get the ASCII of that character, and we're actually adding all of the ASCII values of the characters in password. So we return sum here. Sum has the sum of ASCII values, and yeah, it is done. Let's check if it works. Okay, let's copy these files into temp. Okay, we're gonna include them now in the main directory or the main file. Let's open resource view first. We'll just delete this, create an edit control, static text, password. This will be password. This will be the file. Okay, let's create two buttons here. Okay, let's create handlers for both of them. Okay, let's include the files. Was encrypt.h, yeah. Oh, it's Encrypter. Okay. Okay, now we have the files. Let's see for any errors. Yeah, and I use unmanaged C++ because it's faster and I like it, because for me it's easier. So you might have to change some code if you don't, or you can just run unmanaged C++. I have a video on how to run unmanaged C++. You can check it out too. The link is gonna be in the description below. Okay, apply. Let's see. My bad. Okay, let's check it now. It needs io.h. Let's just include in header file. Okay, Control-Shift-B, and yep, a lot of redefinitions of file pointer. My bad. Okay. Okay, it's good now. Let's try to encrypt any file here. Let me write some code. Correct ref name. Check what the edit box number is. It's 2 and it's 1. Alright. Okay. Okay, we have the f name and the password. Now let's create an object for encrypt obj, and I think encrypt is something that is already in the Microsoft classes, so we're gonna change the name, rename, new names. Let's make it Encrypter preview, encrypter.cpp git.h git. Okay, apply. Okay, it has changed now and it is good. Let's try it now. Its name is Encrypter now, the class name. Encrypter obj, yeah, obj. It's f name, password, and we want to encrypt. Yes. Now we check obj's output. Let's if obj.output is equal to file er, then okay, yeah. Now let's create for decrypt. Okay, let's create the object obj f name, password, zeros. We want to decrypt. Let's just copy this and we didn't check pass error in encrypt because we know that encrypt has to encrypt. It isn't gonna match any password, so error cannot come. Let's see if it works now. Okay, ABC encrypt, operation successful. Okay, let's check it. Encrypted. Now let's decrypt it. ABC decrypt, operation successful, and it worked. This is it for the video, guys. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel.